Good morning and welcome to ArewaBlue News TV. Here is the morning news segment with Ibrahim Sufian Isa for the 31st day of March 2020. France on Monday reported its highest daily number of deaths from COVID-19 since the coronavirus epidemic began, saying 418 more people had died in hospital to bring the total to 3,024. There are now 20,946 people hospitalized in France with COVID-19, with 5,056 of them in intensive care, the government said in the daily update. The French death toll included only those who died in hospital and not those who died at home or in old people's homes. France has been in a lockdown since March 17 in a bid to slow the spread of the epidemic, and officials have repeatedly warned it will take time for the measures to bear fruit. Top French health official Jerome Salomon told reporters that the figures are in no way going down as they are in the midst of the epidemic. He noted that the growth in infections in neighboring Italy had seen a relative slowing in the last days and expressed hope that figures in France could show signs of improvement at the end of this week. The United States mission in Nigeria has announced the commencement of evacuation of its citizens from Nigeria. This is happening after Germany, Israel, and France evacuated their nationals following the rising cases of coronavirus in the country. Via their Twitter handle, it said that multiple emergency flights departing from Lagos and Abuja have been confirmed for this week. The mission asked Americans booked for the flights not to come to the airport until they had been contacted by officials. Meanwhile, the United States President Donald Trump has extended federal guidelines on social distancing until April 30 after a top official warned that between 100 to 200,000 people could die from COVID-19 in the United States. According to the latest report, they said that the United States has 139,000 confirmed cases, more than any other country in the world, and worldwide, the total number of infections recorded since the beginning of the outbreak reached more than 770,000 people, and some 160,000 people have recovered globally, while nearly 37,000 people have died. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, has signed the COVID-19 Regulations 2020, declaring coronavirus a dangerous infectious disease. In a statement on Monday night in Abuja, the presidency said Buhari acted in exercise of the powers conferred on him by Sections 2, 3, and 4 of the Quarantine Act, which is Q2 LFN 2004, and all other powers enabling him in that belief or in that effect. The statement, which was signed by his spokesman, Mr. Femi Adesina, added that the regulations, effective from March 30th, 2020, also give legal backing to the various measures outlined in the President's national broadcast on March 29, 2020, such as the restriction and cessation of movements in Lagos, FCT, and Ogun State, and orders towards the containment of the spread of the pandemic in the country. In addition, to ensure that Nigerians can still perform online transactions and use ATMs while observing these restrictions, the exemption is granted financial system and money markets to allow only very skeletal operations in order to keep the system in light operations during the pendency of these regulations. Coronavirus cases had risen to 131 in Nigeria as the Nigeria Center for Disease Control announced 20 new cases. Of the 20 new cases, 13 were recorded in Lagos State, 4 in Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, 2 in Kaduna, and 1 in Oyo State. According to a late report on The Punch, the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde earlier announced that he tested positive for the virus and is now in self-isolation. For a breakdown of cases by states in real time, Lagos currently has 81 cases, FCT with 25, Ogun with 3, Enugu with 2, Ekiti with 1, Oyo with 8, Edo with 2, Bauchi with 2, Osun State with 2, Rivers 1, Benin 1, and Kaduna with 3. South Africa, which has the highest numbers of confirmed coronavirus infections on the African continent, will start mass door-to-door screening and testing for coronavirus. According to Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, the unprecedented exercise will be launched in the next few days with at least 10,000 field workers deployed across the country of 57 million people. In addition, he said field workers will visit towns, villages, and cities to screen residents and people with severe symptoms to be hospitalized. The president said those infected but asymptomatic or with moderate symptoms will have to remain in isolation at home or at government quarantine centers. The number of confirmed infections had risen to 1,326 cases with 3 deaths. And lastly, on sports, the postponed Tokyo 2020 Olympics will open on 23rd July 2021. According to the organizers, after the games were delayed, they said they did this because of a coronavirus pandemic. The decision comes less than a week after organizers were forced to delay the games under heavy pressure from athletes and sport federations as the global outbreak took hold. That brings us to the end of the morning news segment with ArewaBlue News TV. My name is Ibrahim Sufyan Isa. Thanks for listening and watching.
I will not stop talking until you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's right, don't walk away.